You know, 2023 is my 46th year in the deer woods. And in 46 years of deer hunting, I'm clearly not the same deer hunter that I was 46 years ago. I hope I've matured and got to the point where deer hunting is more than just killing deer. It's a passion, but I'm also a steward of the land. I'm a conservationist. But I'm also not the same person I was 46 years ago outside of deer hunting. I hope that I've matured. I hope that I've become a better father along the way, a better husband, a better person overall. Your family needs a spiritual leader right now more than they ever have. And it's never too late to do it. I think my greatest accomplishment in life has nothing to do with deer. It's got nothing to do with deer at all. One day I'm going to be laying in a casket and my family's going to be standing there at my funeral and people are going to be walking through and they're going to make comments about me. And if their only comments have something to do with deer, if they say, oh, Don was a good deer hunter, or I like Don's magazine articles or whatever, if that's the only comments that my family hears, then I've wasted my life. I've totally wasted it. The greatest accomplishment the one I'm most proud of is my kids. I've got two daughters that are Christians, and they're the kind of people that I admire. They think about others. They're courteous. They're raising good kids. The 46 years I spent in the deer woods has been 46 years of various challenges. When I started out, the challenge was just to be able to get a deer in front of the stand and get a shot at a deer, any deer. And those challenges have progressed through the years. And recently, the challenge for me has become my legacy. What legacy am I leaving behind? How are my kids going to remember me? How are my friends going to remember me? How are people that just knew me casually going to remember me? And if it all revolves around deer hunting, then I've left a pretty poor legacy in my mind. It's much bigger than deer hunting. In 2023, I've faced some challenges I never faced before. It's had its share of ups and downs both. Back in September, my oldest daughter was diagnosed with cancer. And the very next day, my youngest daughter gave birth to our third grandson. And having those things back to back, you had the lowest of lows and the highest of highs on back-to-back days, and it's really gave me a chance this season to sit in a stand and reflect on my legacy and what that legacy is going to be. And I think about my grandsons a lot because I had great grandparents. My grandfather especially would do anything for me and my brother. Just left a lasting mark, and he's been gone 30 years now, and there's hardly a day goes by that I don't think of him. And I hope that I leave the same kind of mark on my grandkids. And some of the challenges that I've faced this year have kind of brought reality made it a lot clearer, brought clarity to reality, brought clarity to the legacy that I want to leave behind. And I've said it before, but if the only thing people remember about me is my deer hunting accomplishments, I've really wasted my life. And I want to leave a bigger impact than just in the deer woods. And you know, obviously I want to touch lives through my deer hunting, the people that I reach. I want to help them to be better deer hunters, but I hope I can also help them to be better people. And, you know, one of the things that I've struggled with a little bit this year is my faith, because, you know, to see your child go through cancer, that's gonna test you like you've never been tested before in a lot of different ways. And it's been a real challenge for me. And it's really helped me focus on that legacy even more, because not only do I recognize my own mortality, I recognize my family's mortality as well. I think today I appreciate every one of my family members more than I did even a few months ago. My parents, my wife, my kids, grandkids, you know, something could happen at any moment to take one of them or more from me. And I just realize the older I get that that legacy that I'm trying to build goes way beyond the deer woods. And I hope the deer hunters that I'm reaching, or the people that I'm reaching through deer hunting, I hope that they're seeing a lot of life lessons through me as well as deer hunting lessons. And I guess that's the challenge that I face now, is how can I leave the best legacy possible? You know, sometimes you wonder if, when you're a person of faith, you kind of wonder why certain things happen. And you know, I wonder why God chose my daughter to have cancer, or just how that happened. I would have much rather it been me, to be honest.
Starting a new medicine today. Another 12 weeks.
Sharper than a storm.
How are you feeling right now?
Excellent, so I don't want to go in.
Me neither. Love you.
Love you.
Carry the weight of the world on your shoulders, but don't let it make you older. They say, settle me down when I can't see the truth now, when the distance is so loud from here to home. I'm not scared of the dark no more. I'm not running away like I did before. I will bend, I will break for love. I'm not scared, I'm not scared. Draw the light in from every shore, on the lines of some holy war. I'm not running away no more, no more. All my bones know their strength. I will be brave and draw the breath of the world from my veins, fearless and faith. All the light inside me says I was born to find the way.
You know, there's some things in life we don't get to choose. We just gotta deal with them as they come our way. And you know, we've done the best that we can. I've told my daughter that, you know, I'll gladly give up my entire hunting season, my entire hunting career to help her out. If they need anything, I've taken her to chemo treatments, just anything I could to help her and her family out. I'm willing to do that. And you know, looking back at my life, I don't know that I would have been not willing to do things like that 20 years ago. You know, the story with Babe actually is a reflection of the change in my heart over the past year. To start the season, you know, I didn't even hunt the farm for Babe or any other buck. I left the farm totally undisturbed for youth season. Youth season in my home state of Illinois is the first weekend in October, and my grandsons were going to get a chance to hunt my farm for the first time this year. And I wanted them to have a crack at Babe before I got a crack at him. And you know, we went out during youth season and hunted every day. We seen deer on every single hunt, saw lots of bucks that my two grandsons, Wyatt and Walker, could have shot. But I guess they took a chip off the old block and they was gonna wait for a big one, and he just didn't show. So I waited for that, for the youth season to be over, and then I started my Babe journey, if you will, to see if I could slip an arrow through him. Well, you know, it was a few hunts in, Babe came out of the switchgrass like so many other bucks have done in that same location. And instead of coming towards me, he went away. And I got several minutes of great video footage and you know, extremely grateful for the encounter that I had that day, just getting to see a buck like that going about his business when he thinks nobody's looking is just the thing that really drives me as a deer hunter. I just like seeing those mature bucks going about their business as if no hunter's in the woods at all. They have no idea. And that's what I got to witness that afternoon, but no shot, which I was perfectly fine with. But you know, I don't know, it was a week or so later, I was back in the same blind, and again, Babe comes out, and this time he comes towards me. But here's the real kicker in this whole story is, when Babe came out of the switchgrass, I was on my cell phone texting my daughter, my oldest daughter, Andrea, the one that's got the cancer. I was texting her, and I look up, and here Babe has already come out of the switchgrass. He's coming right at me at 25 yards. And as quick as I could, I had to drop the phone, turn on the video camera, hit the record button, grab my bow, snap the release on, come back to full draw and shoot. And the whole thing happened about as fast as I just told about it. It was just a few seconds, and I'd slipped an arrow through him. I just shot Babe. He came out and I didn't even see him coming. It happened so fast, I looked up and he was already at 25 yards and closing. I turned the camera on as fast as I could. You know, I think it was just kind of ironic that when Babe came out, I was on the phone texting my daughter when it all happened and went down. So as you can see from the video, the shot that I made on Babe was just a little bit back. He was walking, and I felt that arrow was back about 6 inches farther than I would have liked. So I didn't want to go after him right away. I backed out and decided to wait till the next morning, and I called a couple of very special friends to go in with me to recover Babe. And that's Al Foster and Joe Johnson, a couple of guys that have been friends with me for 40 years. And you know, those guys have stuck by my side through thick and thin. They've heard the haters just as well as I have. They've had my back when very few other people did. And it just meant a lot that they were there when we recovered Babe. Had good friend Kyle Harmon from Team Radical Outdoors was there to film the whole thing, and also to take photos once we recovered the deer. So, you know, being able to share moments like that with people that are special in your life, you know, that's a big part of deer hunting as well. You know, I've said it many times, the best thing that deer hunting ever did for me was the people that it brought into my life and the relationships that have happened because of deer hunting. But, you know, in the end, I just want to say that, you know, obviously anybody that knows me knows how important deer hunting has been to me. It's been my life's passion, and it has been for decades. Back when I was a teenager, deer hunting was a major part of my life, and it just continued to grow and snowball over the years. And you know, when I look at my deer hunting challenges in 2023, I had that target buck Babe that a year ago was one that he would have scored in the mid 180s, and I had high hopes that deer was going to hit 200 inches this year, and that didn't happen. And you know, it's almost like a reality check for me. Is that buck less of a challenge because his antlers lost a few inches instead of gaining several inches? He's still a 6-year-old buck, a mature buck. He's just as smart as he would have been if he would have been carrying a 220-inch rack. Still the challenge was there. And I think the whole situation that I faced with my daughter and her cancer helped me realize that a number next to a buck based on his antler score was really pretty insignificant in the grand scheme of things. And yeah, as a deer hunter, you know, I'm chasing that elusive 200-inch mark just as much as anybody out there. And when it happens, I celebrate it just as much as anybody out there. But I think a lot of times we can get sidetracked and we can lose sight of the important things along the way. And, you know, just time spent in the woods with friends. I cherish that more today than I did a year ago because of the situation with my daughter. I realize that next season those friends may not be there. It's really hard to explain until you go through it, but it's one of those things that I hope is part of my legacy. I hope that once I'm gone, those deer hunters that are still around that remember me, I hope they remember me as more than just a guy that shot big deer. I hope they remember me as an old guy that was stubborn, set in his ways, but man, when he spoke about life's lessons, he was hitting the nail right on the head. And I hope that a lot of those people take those lessons to heart and it helps them become you know, better husbands, better fathers, just better people in general. You know, I've matured as a deer hunter, no doubt, to the point where I can consistently kill good bucks. But I'm much more proud of the fact that I've matured as a person, as a father, as a husband, that, you know, I put people way above deer today. And I'm not sure that I always did that. And that's one of the lessons I try to get through to young guys is, you know, chasing deer is great. Chasing big deer is fantastic. It's been my life. But, you know, as my hunting career winds down, I hope I got several years left, but I never know. And, you know, I just hope that some of the lessons that I get to instill on other deer hunters goes way beyond deer hunting. And this is one of those. You never know when you're going to see one of your loved ones for the last time. It's really struck me here in recent weeks and months. So just, if you take nothing else away from this video, I really hope that you take that away. This is not a video about, you know, how to kill another giant buck. It's not a hero story. Look at me, I killed a giant buck. I'm trying to share lessons, life lessons that I've learned. I wish I'd have learned sooner in life when I was younger, but didn't, and they've hit home in recent years. And I just hope that some of you guys watching this will take this to heart when you're younger instead of waiting until you're old like I am. This past summer, I celebrated my 60th birthday. And you talk about giving a guy a whole new mindset or forcing someone to reflect. When you hit that milestone and you realize the end of the road's down there and the end of the road's getting closer and closer, you don't know how much more time you got. And it changes your whole perspective. And, you know, to end this video, you know, I just want to say as important as deer hunting has been to me, it's not near as important as my family. So to Robin and Alicia and Andrea, my grandsons Wyatt, Walker, and Bowen, sons-in-law Corey and Clint, my parents, my brother, you guys all mean so much more to me than deer hunting ever will.